On the road to obtaining the Bloodborne Platinum, there will be a lot of this. Turn back. Also, I know it's been over 90 days, but all I'll say to that is... Alright, so Bloodborne, one of the best Soulsborne games ever made. Though it does seem Sony has completely forgotten about this game, since it seems like they've ported every single PlayStation exclusive to PC, except for this one.
That's a laugh.
It's one of the reasons why I haven't gone back to finish this just absolute gem of a game, since I thought it was such an easy decision to port this to PC and give it the 60 FPS update that it really deserves. Now, while I do think this game is definitely playable in 30 FPS, unlike some people, playing Bloodborne at 60 FPS would just be so beautiful. So Sony, just update the damn thing. We will be seated. But the Bloodborne Platinum is difficult, it's tedious, but goddamn is it fun. While the loads of this Platinum can definitely make you feel like trash. Fucking excuse me. The highs make you feel like you've won the damn lottery. Yes, you dick. Alright, so step one to obtaining this platinum is to beat the game while also picking up a lot of the missable items, such as the umbilical cords, all the hunter badges, just your standard Soulsborne stuff, to be honest. And of course, beat all of the bosses in the game. Step two, the damn Chalice Dungeons. And when I say these dungeons made me lose my mind, I really mean it. And if you've been through the dungeons, you know how bad they are. And then step three, do the multiple endings. So grab yourselves your blood vials, and after 3 long months, let's get another platinum trophy.
Finally!
So after loading my save back up in what I think is 4 years and already having 9 of the 34 base game trophies, we're in the Cathedral Ward. And the first thing I do is check to see if my parrying timing has faltered. But then 5 minutes later, this happened. Then after making our way through the area, I remember the true devastation that is the Hunter's Axe. Now we have to deal with our first hunter, and he has a badge that we need. You'll need these badges in order to buy extra items needed for the platinum. And the easiest way to kill this guy is actually just to knock him off the edge. I hope he can still be got to. No! I gotta... Not once, but twice. Oh, surely. Oh, for God's sake. Alright, maybe not twice. How about a third time lucky? Hey. Nice. Now to deal with our first boss of the video, and that is the blood-starved beast. We're first going to summon Alfred, of course. If you played any other Souls game, you know how good summons can be. Of course, if you do summon someone, it can increase the health of the bosses quite drastically for some, but with certain bosses, it does help having an NPC there just to distract the boss while you do some big damage. But the blood-starved beast definitely isn't the most difficult boss in this game, and there are some other ones we will struggle with later on. Now, to emphasize the missable trophies in this game, it can be as simple as forgetting to come to this door and telling this girl to go to Hewick Chapel. Just because not doing this has the butterfly effect of you just not doing a certain amount of things to get an umbilical cord, for example. Because when you come back to this chapel, you need to speak to her in order to get her blood. Yeah, this game's story is weird. Just to quickly touch on this game's story, but to be honest... does anyone understand Bloodborne's story? I don't think Miyazaki himself understands it. Now on to the next boss, and this is easily one of my favorite transformations in a cutscene. It's one thing that all Souls games do just brilliantly. This is Vicor Amelia, and he looks like a beast that's covered in toilet paper. So you already know that fire is going to be very effective on this one. We do have another summon for this fight, again, more as a distraction while we get behind the boss and just start wailing on it. And it doesn't take us too long before we defeat him. 2 bosses, no deaths. Can we keep this up?
Hey, I doubt it.
Pressing on further into the game, we end up dropping down this hole and enter one of the coolest areas in the game, and that is the Hunter's Dream, but no one's in it. All right, now dealing with these stupid brain suckers, easily one of the worst enemies in this game. This game has a lot of bad enemies, but this one... These are just annoying. Now, a quick weapon purchase. We're going to buy Ludwig's Holy Blade. It costs 20,000 blood echoes, but it
was well worth the price, for now I can destroy you!
And a few more upgrades later, it's ready to be used. Now entering Hewick Chapel, and you guys ever find playing a Souls game that opening doors can sometimes just be the best thing about it? We clear out this little village, Resident Evil 4 style, and we come up to this window. All right, on to another boss. This is Hewick. Not going to speak on him too much just because this boss is just garbage. It's so easy. So quick skip and trophy pop. Now, we need to get sent to the prison of this game. So we let this guy kill us, and we wake up in the Yara Ghul. And this area is just so cool. It's like most of this game, it's just so gorgeous. It's the thing that, like, always drew me back to this game. It's like Anor Londo in Dark Souls 1. Like, it's just so nice to look at. And there's just something about walking around Yharnam, hearing your footsteps, and just taking in the atmosphere. Let me know in the comments if you know what I mean. And while you're down there, hit that like button. It's been a while since I've said that. Now on to the next boss. This is the Dark Beast Paul. And for a first attempt, I think I did pretty well. And on the second attempt, getting AoE definitely wasn't on my bucket list. But eventually, we do take him down. Now entering the Forbidden Woods, our first taste of this area involves freaking poison, as well as these giants. A combination that can definitely squash you. And it also seems like the Ewoks from Endor inhabit this area. And now I get to deal with these damn things. These things make Medusa look like a baby. But to be fair, as terrifying as they look, they're not that bad to deal with. That is until I get pinned against a wall. And now for one of my least favorite encounters, dealing with these Las Plagas looking enemies. Just look how cheap this grab is. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Multiple Death Slayer. We finally deal with them. And now dealing with another boss, and this is one of my favorites. It's the Shadows of Yharnam. 3 different enemies, all with different ways to hurt you. And we have a summon, so it's just absolute chaos, and I friggin' love it. After dealing with these shadows, we try and leave through this door, but the Amygdala has some other ideas, and he sends us into the Nightmare Lecture building, which pops us another trophy. We get our first taste of using the Ludwig Blade, and with a particular blood gem, we are setting them on fire. And then when we leave the building into the Nightmare Frontier, and this place is awful.
Well, this looks fun.
Yeah. It wasn't. Mainly due to the areas looking exactly the same, and these giants with their boulders being able to one-shot you, they're just not that fun. But after progressing through the area, we arrive at the boss arena, and now we have to fight the Amygdala. First attempt goes quite well until he decides to just jump and squash me. But thankfully, on our next attempt, we managed to take him down. And now it's time to arrive at my favorite area in the game. Not to play as, because the areas in this area suck so much. God, just look at it. The castle's just so beautiful. But god damn, these enemies. Look at them. They're so horrible. They hit so hard, and they're so fast, and they just don't stagger. Look at this 1-2 combo that they can just pull off, and look at my health just drain. But once we finally enter the castle, it just gives me Resident Evil 4 castle vibes, or even Lady D's castle from Village. We explore the castle a little bit further before eventually running into this gentleman. And I really, really like this boss fight. As much as I love getting destroyed by the beasts in this game, finding a deranged hunter like this, one-on-one, will always be my favorite bosses in this game. Now arriving at our next area, Bergenworth, and God, just look at these enemies. This is where we get introduced to Frenzy, and Frenzy is just horrible to deal with. Look at the health. And in this area, we deal with another boss, and if you have arachnophobia, probably best to look away from this fight, because there's quite a few 8-legged creatures here. But this is Rom. This fight's just annoying. It takes so long. There's multiple phases. It's not hard in the slayers. It's just annoying.
Oh my god. See, I'm not a big fan of spiders, so that was real.
But after we deal with him, we see the queen, and seemingly she is bringing the sun towards us, and this affects the world very greatly. Also, just because I know this will trigger people, I know it's a moon. Now that I've properly looked into it and the lore into this game, I know it's a moon. So if you get triggered by me calling it a sun, I do apologize. Now, enemies will hit you a lot harder and will never stop coming. Also, it's made the sky purple, and it's so pretty. But circling back to enemies not stop coming, you will have seen throughout the game these enemies ringing a bell, but now that the world has changed, these bells will actually make the enemies a lot stronger. So your priority is to kill them as soon as possible. But now it's time for another boss fight, and this is the one Reborn. We get off to a fantastic start against it. But to be honest, this enemy is just one big target, and you can just absolutely wail on it.
It was a bit...
Progressing through the area, we arrive at the upper Cathedral Ward, and this nets us another trophy. And now time for our next boss, and this one's just such a joke. I wish I could say more about this alien type thing, but by the time I finish this sentence, he'll already be dead. Now it's time to deal with this boss that I cannot pronounce the name of. And this boss fight ends in just a really funny way, and I feel like this happens every single time I play a Souls game.
What happens now?
Thank God, she's still dead. Now on to the next boss fight. This is Mikolaj. I hate him so much. I love his helmet, but God, can you just stop running? Constant respawning enemies, constant running away. He's not hard by any means, but God, just stop running. Progressing further through the area, we come across this chest, and inside this chest contains the choir bell, and this is our final hunter's tool that we need in the game. Then after that, we return to the hunter's dream and fully max out our hunter's axe, which gives us another trophy for maxing out a weapon. Now dealing with Murgo, I love everything about this boss. It's a beast wielding 4 swords. What's not to like? It's a beast General Grievous. And now after beating that boss, we enter what is the worst part about doing this platinum. Say it with me. The Chalice Dungeons. There are 6 different Chalice Dungeons that have to be done in the game. The first 2 at this stage in the game are incredibly easy just because we're so over-leveled that we basically one-shot everything. Even the bosses. Look how easy this is. Even this Watchdog boss is just very easy. Again, same with this guy. Incredibly easy this time, but we do have to fight him later on, and he kind of destroys me. But the first 2 dungeons in this game, especially at this stage, can definitely give you a false sense of security because you're just one-shotting everything, but later dungeons, they'll be one-shotting you. But onto the first actual difficult boss in these Chalice Dungeons, and that's the Undead Giant. Just the thing with this boss is it's chains that are attached to him. Just because look how quickly you can die with these. He just has a swinging attack that the chains sort of just hit you from his back. But after some patience, we do manage to take him down. Yes! Also, another annoyance with these stupid dungeons are these stupid traps that you just find littered about everywhere. And now on to our next boss.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's Rom again, so I'm just gonna skip this one because again, he's not hard. And onto the bloodletting beast. Can be an annoying one, especially when he decides to right hook you and take off all of your health. But I end up killing him in the most disrespectful way possible I think I've seen someone kill a boss in this game. On to the next dungeon. I don't know what it is about these traps. I just end up running into them all the time. And I just have no words on this. So we fight the blood-starved beast once again. And God, look at the damage, man. Thankfully, on the next attempt, we do manage to knock him out. And we're making actually some pretty decent progress. We're advancing through the dungeons quite quickly. We finally get the Blood Gem Master Trophy, which I should have gotten well before this. But now easily the worst Chalice Dungeon. So you see my health here in the Hunter's Dream. And now look at it. Oh, brother, look at that health bar. And enemies do the same damage to you, so good luck. On to the first boss of this dungeon, and just excuse my terrible parry attempts, but god damn, the health, man. But this one I definitely struggled with, just because when you don't parry the entire game and then you're forced into parrying a boss, yeah, it just doesn't really work out. After many attempts, though, we do finally manage to take him down. Bitch. In this dungeon as well, we do have to beat another one of the Celestial guys, and I thank the devs for putting one of the easiest bosses in the game in this dungeon, even if he can very easily dispatch of you. And that is actually the final boss of the dungeon. So I'm now feeling invincible going into the next one with a full health bar again. Though I do very quickly get humbled once again. I think this gentleman was the boss I struggled with the most in the game. He's just so fast. He has so much range that you need to counter, and the parry timing can be hard to judge. But after a few deaths, we finally take him down. Fighting the bloodletting beast once again, and somehow I didn't have any issues with this fight. And I read online, this was one that people struggle with a lot, actually. So based on that logic, Ludwig will be super easy, right? Yeah, if this video does well, I will do the Old Hunters DLC, and I imagine Ludwig's gonna kick my ass, so hit that like button. Now, the final boss of the game in general, that's the Ofyanam Queen, and she's just super easy. Now all that's left to do, thankfully, is the multiple endings. So with our backup save ready, we first do the ending where we die, and that pops a trophy. Then we do the ending where we refuse to die, and we have to fight German, the first hunter. And I really like this fight. You can just tank his hits for the most part, and when you do kill him, you pop another trophy. There's one thing I just love with this game. Like, it's sort of like you kill him and then take his place. Like, it's just something just so poetic about it. You're freeing him, thus condemning yourself into being not the first hunter, but you get what I mean. And for the final ending, we have to eat these umbilical cords. Yeah, story reasons, I guess. We defeat German once again, then after that, defeat the Moon Presence. And thankfully, a very easy boss to finish off this absolute masterpiece of a game. And after that ending is finished, so is this platinum. And if you guys want to see me platinum Dark Souls 1, click somewhere on this screen.